Hello, my name is Price Van Ray. I'm a divorced single dad, father of 5 kids. Welcome to my show. Hello and welcome back, everybody. It's great that you can join me again for another episode of entertainment, insight, and something great, in my opinion, to listen to. That's right. Now, today is Valentine's Day, so I want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. In fact, that's what this show is going to be about, Valentine's Day. So, before I get to that, let's do the thought of the day. Every day is a new opportunity to spread kindness and make someone's day a little brighter. That's right. You know, when you wake up, it's great that you as an individual, as a special person on this planet, has an opportunity to sit there and spread kindness. Whether you're going to say a kind word, say, oh, hi, how are you? Or you look handsome, you look beautiful, or you look spectacular today. Or whether or not you're just going to do something kind, like bring somebody a glass of water, shake their hand, make them feel important. It's great when you have an opportunity to spread some kind of kindness like that, and when you can make somebody's day a little brighter. Because the bottom line is we never truly know what somebody is going through in life. And the fact is, in my opinion, it's always great when you can spread some positivity in the world. Something to make the world a better place. That being said, let's get on with the show. It is Valentine's Day, and that being Valentine's Day, it's a special day for many people who like to celebrate it. Now, I'm sure there's some people who don't celebrate it, but if you don't, I still say it's good to just spread a little joy in the world, a little happiness, give a little candy. But sometimes some people don't have that, and we have to remember that everybody is not as fortunate. So, let me just start by saying, I know this, and I hope your day is very bright. Now, that being said, I want to talk about what it was like for me growing up, having Valentine's Day. So, when I was a kid, it was a big deal in my house. Like all the other holidays, like St. Patrick's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the major ones. But, you know, Valentine's Day always had a special little spot in my heart. Because I remember those great fond memories as a little kid. That's right. No, I'm not sure how it is today. But when I was a kid, we would get these cards when I was in grammar school. We would go to the store and get these Valentine's Day cards. It was like a thick piece of paper, cutouts that said, Happy Valentine's Day. Will you be my Valentine's? It was just a big deal when you're a kid, especially when you could have a party in school. And I'm talking grammar school here. It's a way to connect with everybody in class to say, hey, I'm thinking of you. Will you be my Valentine? And of course, as a kid, it was almost like a competition to see who could get the most Valentine Day cards. That's right. I don't know what it is about kids in competition, but that's the way it was. Now, I remember all day we'd all be excited. We'd get our math done. We'd get our English done. We'd get our science done because the last couple hours of school as a kid in grammar school, that was party time. And we'd have some music on the record player, the small, I don't even know if people have those anymore nowadays. Nowadays we have like MP3 players, we have computers, we have iPads, we have all this technology. But back then, we'd have a record player and put some music on or a little radio. That being said, we would have the candy. That's right. Now, here's the thing. If you went home and you knew the next day was Valentine's Day, you know, your parents would take you to the store and you'd pick up the cards and all night you'd be signing your name over and over. Your hand would be exhausted. And I'm just saying, if you had to write 30 cards as a kid, you think that's exhausting. Wait till you get older and you're writing bills. That's what I'm thinking. If I could look back and tell myself, you think writing I'm signing 30 cards with your signatures hard. Oh my goodness. Kid, wait till you are older. You are in for a huge, and I mean a huge awakening. so, so I'm going to tell you, it's pretty amazing when you're a kid and you're making cookies, you're making cupcakes, you're just making things that you hope your classmates like. Because the next day, you will be taking that to school on a bus or walking, or your parents drop you off, and you're hoping everybody loves what you bring. Now, here's the thing. When you got to school and you did have that party, everybody would sit around and they'd have a little paper cup and they'd put their candy in it and they'd have a napkin and they'd sit around talking and laughing. It was such a long time ago. I have no idea what we talked about, what we laughed about, but it was definitely fun. And those memories are something I will have forever. Now, when you get older, you don't remember every little second of your life. There's very few kids that can do that. They have some kind of a special memory. But you do remember the important things. And the important thing was how the class got together, how the class bonded, and how everybody had such a great time. It was so much fun. Now, coming home, you're on the bus, you'd still be eating some of your candy, and you'd bring the plate home that you had the cupcakes or the cookies on. And when I got home, there was my dad, and he'd give us a little Valentine's Day candy box. And I remember him smiling and giving it to us, saying, "Hey, happy Valentine's Day." That was amazing. It was so amazing. Now, my dad, he's old school. He's, people in that generation weren't too, what should I say, emotional. But it was good to see a smile on his face and see him having some fun, appreciating the day. I knew then, though, we lived in the ghetto. We lived in a very poor place. And I knew we weren't rich. I mean, I knew this as a kid. It was obvious, but everybody was poor, so you didn't really think you were any more or any less. But knowing that we didn't have a lot of money, I did appreciate my parents and what they gave me. The food on the table, the warmth of the house, the clothes on my back, the Valentine's Day candy box. It was great. Now, that night on Valentine's Day, I remember sitting with my family. We would all sit and we'd watch cartoons. One of the biggest cartoons I do remember is the Charlie Brown Valentine's Day cartoon. And I remember the channel that it came on. It came on channel 3. Where I am, that was CBS. And all of his stuff usually came on that channel. That Charles Schultz and all that. So me and my sister would sit there and we'd eat our supper and we'd eat our candy and we'd laugh and have a great time. I'm going to be honest with you. I really do miss those carefree days. I miss those days where there was no responsibility, no cares in the world. You could do what you want. Those were days that really mean a lot to a lot of kids. And I'm sure I'm not the only kid. I often wondered what a lot of the other kids did when they went home. If they had more candy, here we go with the competition again, or if they had less candy, what their days were like. But I'm sure they were filled with happy memories. It was just fun as a kid, fun having this day. But when you have kids, I just want to tell you guys, you want to make sure your kids do have fun because it's all about them. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm older. So as the years went on, the candy sort of stopped. But that's because you get older, you do things. I went off to college. I got a girlfriend. I got married. I had kids. Now, it was my turn. It was my turn to do what I was taught, to do what my parents showed me. It was my turn to step up at the plate and say, am I going to give my kids the happy memories, the happy childhood that I had, filled with candy, filled with happiness? And of course, I was going to do that. I remember when my kids were young, I couldn't wait for Valentine's Day. I put so much thought into it. I knew I wanted to get the candy, but I knew I wanted to get the candy hearts too, because I remember the candy hearts every time you looked at those candy hearts. And I remember this back in school. Some would say, you're my friend, you're special, be my Valentine. And I wondered, how did they get these awesome words on these tiny little candy hearts that were no bigger than your thumbnail? And when you ate the candy hearts, they just melt in your mouth. Now, I'm not saying they all would, because there were, I'm going to be honest with you, there were some of the heart-shaped candies that were so hard. You had to suck on them until they disintegrated in your mouth, dissolved. But then there were the special ones, the ones I loved. As soon as you put them in your mouth, you bit into them, it was like biting into marshmallow. Marshmallow love, the softness, the sweetness. You knew when they made this candy, there was so much care put into it. And like I said, it was my turn to be a dad, to step up at the plate and say, hey, what am I going to do? What am I going to do to make my kids happy and give them those happy memories? So when they were kids, I would get them the chocolate hearts. And my kids were all different. So, as they got older, I knew what they liked. One of my kids, he only loved Skittles. And unbelievably, I would get Skittles for him and fill him up with an empty heart and say, Happy Valentine's Day. He wasn't any wiser because he didn't know. I just filled it up. He was happy to get it. He couldn't believe it. He said, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Daddy. I'm being honest, I love being called Daddy, but my kids don't call me Daddy. They say Dad. And then I'd get them other things like licorice and chocolate bars. I'm going to tell you, I really hope my kids had a great memory, because I would set up the table. I put everything on the kitchen table. I put candles out. I would make sure that when they woke up, it was just like Christmas. They'd say, oh my goodness, look at this. And they did. They ran to it. They ate the candies. They said thank you. But even if they didn't say thank you, I'm going to tell you one thing. I was just happy to see the smiles on their face, to take the pictures, to have those special memories that I could look back on when they were older. And yes, my kids did get older. And as time went on, I still got them candy. Because in my opinion, that's what parents do. Parents should not forget their kids. Parents should always remember it's these small things that your kids love, and you should keep it going. Just because they get older doesn't mean you got to stop, guys. When your kids get older, it means they might need you just a little more. They might need you as a reminder to say, hey, remember me? I used to be a little kid, but I still love those little things, those small things that you did for me. I appreciate it. And I love you. That's what we as parents have to remember. Our kids are always going to look towards us. Our kids are going to say, hey, this is what happened in my childhood, and I want to do the same thing. Try to pass it on. Try to pass on your experiences, your beliefs, your love, your memories, your traditions. So my kids are older. My oldest one is 27. I think she'll be 28 this year. She has a baby. My two boys live with their mom. My two girls, other two girls are with me. One of my girls, she's not here right now. She's off making a life for herself. She has a boyfriend. So let me break this down to you. So my two boys. Yesterday, which wasn't Valentine's Day, I thought it was Valentine's Day. I went over to the house and I told my youngest boy, here you go. I love you. I just want to make sure you get your happy Valentine's Day candy. Here you go. Come to find out, yesterday was not Valentine's Day. I couldn't believe it, but I said, hey, just eat it tomorrow. But I'm sure he ate it that day. And yes, he still eats Skittles. And I got him a Skittles heart box and a big Skittles can and some chocolate, along with a hug and a kiss. I tell you, I really love being a daddy. I love doing these things for my kids. Now, my other daughter who doesn't live with me, I got her and a boyfriend a special gift too. I got him a cup and some teddy bears on the inside and some heart-shaped candy because in a few weeks, I'm going to be seeing her. I'm going to be seeing her because my grandson is going to have his first birthday party right in the area at the other grandmother's house. So I plan on seeing her there and giving her the gifts then. So she and her boyfriend, they will get their gifts. Last but not least, my two girls, my oldest one with the baby and my youngest girl. So I set up the living room table and I put a candle in the middle. I put teddy bears all over. I got heart-shaped candies. My youngest one, I got her a candy box that had a picture of a cat on it. My oldest one, I got her something fancy. I got him chocolate roses. I got him big Hershey Kisses and some chocolates and these special nugget chocolate candies. I set the table up with teddy bears all over it and toys. And I took a picture, many pictures, because I wanted those memories. Even my cat got into the action. My cat ran up on the table and sat there. I got a picture of my cat, Shisha. She's a calico cat. I love her so much. She's such a cool cat. And I'm just went to bed because I had to work, and they told me when they woke up, they were so surprised. And they said they loved it, and they thanked me. I even got a present for my 1-year-old grandson. I mean, he can't eat chocolate, but I did get him a toy because I didn't want him to feel left out. I wanted to take pictures so he would know, yes, you are special too. You are important. You mean something to me. And you, Isaac, my grandson, you are part of a tradition. And hopefully this tradition will go on with you too. Kids learn from what they see. And you want your kids to see stuff they can learn in a positive way. You want to give them all these tools in life so when they're older, they can do the same thing. I love being a daddy. I remember when I was in the first grade, that's all I wanted to be. That was all I could think of. I can't wait. One day I'm going to be a dad. I'm going to be a dad because I have great role models. I have a mom and a dad, and they did all this stuff for me. I want to do the same thing for my kid. I want them to have memories. I want them to have a life filled with happiness, filled with joy and excitement. I want my kids to experience what I experienced, the positive things in life, the holidays, the special days, even the days when there's no candy. It was Valentine's Day because I got a kiss and a hug, because my parents made me feel important. So, Valentine's Day is great. But let's face it, every day is a Valentine's Day. Every day is a day you can hug your child. You can give them a kiss. You can say, I love you. You can bond. But the Valentine's Day is, let's just say, it's one special day with the cherry on top where you can get some candy and some sweetness just one day out of the year where they say, okay, here we go. We're going to go over the top today. We're going to give you this. It's great that I could do it. For me, it's great being a dad. For me, it's great that I can be a dad, not only to my cats, to my kids, to everybody I love. Because last but not least, I'm going to tell you something. My parents made Valentine's Day special. And I didn't want to forget them. Now, my dad passed, but my mom is still here. My mom is 98 years old. And I got her a Valentine's Day candy heart, a big one. Because I wanted her to know she's not going to be left out. She is part of my tradition, just like she made me part of her tradition. I wanted her to know that I loved her as much as she loved me. I wanted her to know that I appreciate the life she gave me, the opportunity she gave me to be a dad, to carry on these awesome traditions that she instilled in me. I wanted her to know that I loved her, and I wished her a happy Valentine's Day. A special day apart where you can tell the loved ones on this day, I do appreciate you and I love you. For all of you out there who have loved ones, I'll tell you this. Tell them you love them. Tell them they're special. Don't waste time. Time is very valuable. It's a commodity you can't get back. And take the time to tell the ones you love, I love you. It will really mean a lot to them. I want to thank everybody today for joining me. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can download any of my past podcasts morning, noon, and night and hear it all over the world. It'd be great if you could hear what I had to say. If you liked what you heard, subscribe, give me a like, drop me a line. So that's going to bring us to the end of the show. I want to thank you all of you for listening today. It's been great, and don't forget to be nice and talk nice to everyone you see. You know why? Because it's free. Don't be a jerk. And remember this one last bit of advice. Tomorrow is never promised, so don't go to bed angry at your child or anyone you love. And before you go to bed tonight, hug your child and tell them, I will love you forever, Dad. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me here today. And let's do it again. And last but not least, happy Valentine's Day to all you out there, all you family and friends, you lovers, you makers of life, you makers of goodwill. I'll see you next time here on my show. Be well, be kind, be back, peace, and I'll see you later. Go make some good memories. Bye.